This broadcast of the ASEAN Basketball League may not be reused in any way, shape, or form without an express written consent of the ABL.
Open is Regulus. Back-to-back triples for Mono Vampire.
Only 7 remaining. He makes his move. Young forces it up and in! CC hasn't made a shot before that.
Pretty good so far here in the first half.
Lai. Oh, everyone for the Black Bears finding the bottom of the net. Leaky with a big steal. Leaky for 3. That goes in. What a play.
We are here once again inside the Changhua County Stadium in Taiwan. Second game of a 2-game homestand for the Formosa Dreamers, now at 7-6. They go up against the visiting Saigon Heat, who now sits at 2-7, dead last in our team standings. We thank you for catching all of the action right now live in the different channels, online channels of the ASEAN Basketball League, as well as the local channels of the different countries, participating countries here in your ASEAN Basketball League season number 10. Rise to greatness. You guys are joined by Martin Javier alongside Kurt Long here in the coverage. Kurt, this should be a good one. 2-game winning streak for the Dreamers, 2-game losing streak for the Saigon Heat.
Yeah, the Saigon Heat have struggled this season. You know, it's a team that's used to, making runs in the playoffs and just battling hard. And they've had some exchanges at their import.
Made the playoffs both times, and then they got actually their first win in the playoffs in franchise history last year against the eventual champions, the CLS Knights. As we take a look at now, the starting lineups for both teams. It's the second game for the newcomer for the Saigon Heat. You got Malcolm White now manning the center position, replacing the temporary import. That is Mike Bell, who was with the team for at least one game before it was replaced by Malcolm White. So this is another change in personnel for Saigon, and they've done that twice or thrice already. Similar what Dreamers had to go through before they got this chemistry going, before they got their winning streak going here in the season.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, and that's just one of the adjustments that these ABL teams face throughout the season when their personnel changes. It takes
things to score.
Yeah, you're right. Watkins had a tough day shooting, especially that outside shot that he likes to have. It was open for him, didn't fall. Yeah, in the crucial moments yesterday when his team needed a run, they needed a lift, he came in, gave some quality minutes, and took some of the scoring on his shoulders.
And the first crack at the basket here for the Saigon Heat, and Taylor driving and scoring right away, gets them on the board in the first possession. So that's a good sign already here for Saigon to be able to get the first basket. Again, the Dreamers, had their way against the Heat in their previous matchup. No defense whatsoever, especially in the painted area for Saigon in that previous game that was held in Ho Chi Minh City. Malcolm White backing down against Watkins. White, former import of Mono Vampire, former LSU Tiger, getting the first foul on Ryan Watkins here.
Yeah, and White, you gotta like the energy from him. He wants that ball early and often. He'll look to be aggressive. Doesn't matter who's guarding him on the other side. He just has that mentality. He can score on anybody. And we'll see if they can continue to go to him early, because yesterday this Dreamers team, who's now in a zone defense at the moment, they struggled to guard the post players of the Kuala Lumpur team. So we'll see if Saigon, who's probably watching that game, is trying to get them in some similar foul trouble today.
Thompson misfiring that time around. And that's right, the Dreamers, a lot of them were in foul trouble early in their game or yesterday at least. Taylor stripping the ball away, but ball staying with the white shirts here. Trying to get on the scoreboard with over a minute gone in the opening quarter. Jet Chang, catch and shoot, open look, Anthony Tucker, too strong.
Yeah, he doesn't miss many looks that open, but Saigon Heat defensively doing a great job here early on. They have a lot of athleticism. They're switching a lot of those screens, and a lot of the movement the Dreamers have right now. They're able to stop just because it doesn't matter who's guarding who. Everyone's just moving defensively.
That's right. And that time it was an unforced turnover against Malcolm White. Just couldn't handle the basketball. So still 2-0 here. And a slow start for both teams. Amigo looking for a teammate, getting it to Tucker. There's a foul away from the ball. And this is we're gonna go rather the other way. Ryan Watkins called for this one. So that's number 2 on him.
Yeah, I believe so. He had one guarding White earlier in the game, and that one, refs called him for a push-off under the basket, which was too bad because Tucker or Jet Chang was about to get a wide open 3 on the perimeter, so lost opportunity there.
So the Saigon Heat with an opportunity to attack here. So that's 2 straight turnovers for Malcolm White. That one off a travel call, Kirk.
Yeah, and a lot of contact, good physical defense by Watkins. Maybe a little bit scary for him. Coach Kyle Julius is getting him out now before he picks up his 3rd foul. And it'll be Tien Lei with the responsibility now down low to help anchor the Dreamers defensively.
Early entry here by Tien Lei. Had a great job in holding the fort and giving Watkins a breather yesterday against the Dragons. Young misfiring. And here comes Tyshawn Taylor. Taylor. Taylor puts it up and in.
And this is one of those things that can happen to a good team, especially when you come off a good win like the Dreamers just did. And, you can seem to relax. And right now, the energy in the building today, until Amigo Yang hits that shot, of course, just seemed a little bit lower. But that might be what they need to sort of wake up and get their feet moving here against the Saigon Heat.
Miguel Yang, usually gets his points early in the game, in the first quarter.
He does seem to be extra aggressive in the opening minutes, doesn't shy away from pulling that trigger.
So here comes Taylor. Feet on the attack, Thompson on the cut underneath, able to score over Yang. So a 6-3 start here for the Saigon Heat. Trying to snap their 2-game losing streak at this point. They're 2-7, dead last again in the league. Jet Changhua with the rock. Getting it to Tucker. Tucker against Thompson here. 7 seconds to work with for the White Shirts. Tucker. Dancing. Tucker, 2 seconds to shoot. He puts one up. The Heat will not work. And Taylor corrals it. Tyshawn Taylor.
So far, just great defense by the Heat, showing that intensity and that effort on this side of the court that will help them get wins. And I'm sure that's what Coach Kevin Yerkes is trying to preach to these guys. If we can improve defensively and just hold teams under 90 points, then they're going to give themselves a lot more opportunities to get wins.
And that's yet another turnover against Malcolm White. Losing possession, bothered by Darren Young on the help. Here's Jam. Young snatching the rebound. Young puts it up and able to draw the foul here against the Heat. So Young with 2 free throws coming up. This is a foul on Malcolm White. Let's take a look at the rebound here. White helped, and then Young skying over Taylor to snatch it with the left hand.
Yeah, and that's just one of those things. Most superstars, you don't see them do that gritty work. But Darren Young, he can make those big plays, but he also gets you those extra hustle points that are so crucial and come at big times for this team. Yesterday we saw, just his block shots. The effort he puts into just creating those simple plays that are out of the ordinary, they go a long way for this Dreamers team.
He had 5 blocks yesterday to go along with 20 points and 16 big rebounds. Tyshawn Taylor. Former Brooklyn Net fades away. Comes up short. Here comes Darren Young. Young. Close court pass. Lay has range. 7-6 now for the Dreamers. They get the lead for the first time in this game. And here comes Tyshawn Taylor. Utilizing that Malcolm White screen. They go to the corner. Then knocks it down.
Yeah, great recognition. Good job by Tyshawn Taylor. Gets into the heart of that defense, and not an easy pass, but finds his shooter in the corner and able to knock it down.
And that's one of his sweet spots. The corners are the favorite for Tam Din. Tucker with a steal. Couldn't make the jumper though, as White corrals the rebound. And here comes Taylor. Over to the corner. Ball was stopped away. And it stays with the Saigon Heat with 17 seconds to work with. Hold up, we got a timeout on the floor here. It is a close one. Here in Changhua County Stadium, 9-7 for Saigon as we go into this break. We are back to the coverage here. It is a 9-7 lead in the first 5 minutes of the game for the Saigon Heat. Thank you for joining us here. My name is Mark and I'm working alongside Kirk Long here. And the Heat maintaining this lead, Kirk, despite the effort so far of the Dreamers in this first quarter.
Yeah, and if you're the Heat, you sort of, you still had some missed opportunities. The turnovers that they've had, including this one, they could build even a bigger lead if they didn't make some of those simple mistakes.
And Tyson Taylor comes up with a steal. The counter steal, although Justin Young is unable to finish. Here is Anthony Tucker up against Sam Thompson now. Tucker given daylight here. You gotta be careful. Young got pushed by Justin Young. So it's Darren Young versus Justin Young at the post. And Justin is called for the foul. Let's take a look at the sequence here. It happened away from the action and on the entry pass. Young getting too physical on Darren Young.
And it appears that he felt like he got his hand stuck in there. He wasn't trying to push off much, but there's a lot of battling and fighting for that position when you're in there.
So Justin Young takes a seat for Saigon. Sidestep by Amigo Yang. That's going to be a foul here against Tam Din. Chris Durker, by the way, entered the game earlier for Justin Young. Oh, that's definitely a foul against Tam Din. So Amigo Yang, the veteran on this team, one of the vets, one of the former national team players.
Yeah, he helps this team a lot. Just one of those guys you can't relax off of. He can stretch the floor from the outside. He has a strong body, willing to attack the paint and go to the free throw line. And his consistency as a local player has been a big part of the Dreamers' success as of late, especially.
That's right.
Him and Jet Chang as well.
Yeah, Jet Chang yesterday, though, exploding in the fourth quarter. Had 11 against Kuala Lumpur. And some timely baskets as well. Durker, nice cut, and Thompson with a two-handed throw down underneath.
Yeah, great recognition by Durker, and the Dreamers are in that zone sometimes. It's hard to see the back of that zone. It was a nice cut by Thompson, and good feed led to those easy 2 points.
So the Heat moving with more cohesion to begin this game. Oh! Almost an alley-oop jam for Tyson Taylor, but Darren Young was right there to break it up.
Yeah, wow. That was two athletic guys going up, and I'm glad both of them are standing up okay now. And, even without the foul, that seems like a highlight play. Both of them showing us how athletic they can be.
Darren Young and Tyson Taylor, this is going to be a battle here. And Taylor able to knock down the free throw. Let's take a look at the numbers here. Tyson Taylor in their previous game against the Singapore Slingers. Taylor had 15 points, 3 rebounds and 3 assists, but only 7 out of 26 from the field. Jet Chang forcing that one up. Nothing there. Tam Din. Wisely goes to Taylor. Here is White against Tian Lei. They like this matchup. Back to Taylor outside. Tyson back to White. White the quick hit. And a quick move for Malcolm White gets him the basket. The other way is Jet Chang, who makes up for his mistake earlier.
Yeah, great job by the Dreamers. They always look to push. Even after made baskets, you have to respect them and their transition game. They get it up the floor quick.
Chris Durker will not drop. And Tucker getting it for the Dreamers. Anthony Tucker now bringing the ball down. Tucker saw it and exploited it on his way to the basket.
Yeah, that's where, Tucker doesn't have that high fly ability like some of the top players in the ABL, but his how he mixes up his speed, his hesitation is just unreal.
His timing, his basketball IQ is really off the charts. As Durker retrieves the ball. Second chance here for Saigon under 2 minutes remaining. Thompson no good. Tucker gets the board. Changing Yenis ahead. Tucker gets on the lane. And this time Thompson gives up the foul.
And that's what it was. You know, he stops right here, stops at the three-point line. This is the last play, just that little shoulder fake.
Yeah.
He looks one way, looks like it might be just a simple pass across, and all of a sudden he explodes to the basket. But even in that last transition, I mean, he freezes the defense, and they have to respect his outside shot, so they start closing out, and then boom, he uses a burst of speed to get to the basket.
That's his game. Anthony Tucker, again, you mentioned the fastest. That's the most explosive player we have in the league, but his timing, especially off the dribble, just amazing. But that's going to be a score here for Tyson Taylor. Off to a great start here for Saigon Heat. Here is Jet Chang over to Chen Xinyan. Chen, he's got Malcolm White on him. 8 seconds to work with. Set up and in. On the move.
Yeah, and I feel like when he's aggressive, he has so much more to offer this team. You know, he doesn't get a whole lot of minutes, but he needs to always have the mindset that when he's in there, you know, you look at his career, he's been able to score the basketball everywhere he's gone. So when he has that offensive mindset, it just gives the Dreamers another solid weapon out there.
That's good height. Has the touch from the outside as well. Tian Lei definitely a threat on the offensive end. But I'm curious, White settling for the outside shot instead of attacking the defense of Tian Lei in the previous possession.
Yeah, it's where maybe 1 or 2 more dribbles get close to the basket as Jet Chang misses, but White has to know Tian Lei is not the same type of defender.
Turner inside, have to adjust one more time. He's conserving on that run. And finally, Malcolm White cleaning up the mess. And then the end one opportunity for White.
That was a great job by White. Durker, I thought, was definitely going to get it.
Yeah.
Try number 1, try number 2, third one still no good, but White says, hey, I'm here, buddy, I'll help you out. Puts it in for him, and White and Durker need to capitalize with Watkin on the bench, you know, and he may stay on the bench for a part of the second quarter too. Continue to try to get those inside points in the paint.
And the Saigon Heat able to maintain the 5-point lead here, 20-15. And can take advantage of the absence of Ryan Watkins on the court as he nurses the 2 personal fouls. Tucker step back 3. Sit down. Tucker cutting the lead to 2 as we end the first quarter here inside Changhua County Stadium. A 2-point lead by the visiting Saigon Heat, 20-18, a far cry from their first meeting here in the season. We'll be back for the second quarter of this game. This is your ASEAN Basketball League, season number 10. Back to the ball game here. It is the second quarter of this one between the Saigon Heat and the Formosa Dreamers. Saigon with a 2-point lead here, and a lot of players contributing to the cause. As Tamkin gets the steal on the empty pass. Chris Durker getting fouled in the process right there. So Durker heading to the line for 2 shots, but again, Saigon playing with a lot more cohesion, a lot more familiarity, a lot more chemistry on the court, Kirk.
Yeah,
and it's translating on both ends of the court.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, to hold the Dreamers to 18 points in a quarter, you can win games if you keep teams under 20. So I'm sure that Coach Kevin Yerkes was happy with maybe not the last play of the quarter, where Tucker got the three-point shot, but before that, you know, you have to be happy with the energy and just the cohesion they've had defensively, and that's led to attempts like this. Durker getting a fast break opportunity, getting to the free throw line. So the Saigon Heat, though, they can't have one of those few minute spurt where the Dreamers just go on a big run. They can't afford that. They got to play 40 minutes of tough basketball, make the Dreamers earn everything they get.
Because this Dreamers team also very potent offensively, so if you let them go, they're gonna come at you, and you're gonna score in bunches. And this is gonna be a foul on Malcolm White. So a sideline inbound here for the Dreamers. They are down by 3. Turker nailing 1 out of 2, by the way, on the other side. Shen Xinyan over to Anthony Tucker. Tucker looking for a teammate, finding Amigo Yang. Amigo, one dribble in. Short on the jumper. Watkins securing the offensive rebound, gets it out. Shen Xinyan pulls that trigger. Too strong. Almost getting it back, but good hustle coming from Tam Din, who is hurt by the red. And Sam Thompson rising and slamming it home. But the collision here by Tam Din and Shen Xinyan. Shen is still down on the floor.
Yeah, I think he's holding his gut. And then Dunn might have collided. It looked like Chen in the stomach. And
oh yeah, that was accidental though.
Yes, that's just both guys going after the ball, trying to fight for the possession, and then Heat ended up with it, and they've ended up with a lot of these hustle points. They've really come in here with a lot of energy, and that led to that Thompson dunk, and gets this lead back up to 5 for the Heat.
So 23-18, let's take a look at what happened again here. The tap by Tam Din to keep the ball alive, and then colliding with Shen Xinyan. And Shen Xinyan, he's all right. He heads to the bench.
Yeah, that's tough for Chin. I mean, he's been injured for the first half of the season, and he's back in the lineup now, trying to get his rhythm. So the Dreamers will hope that you know, he's okay and continue to get back out there on the court.
So it's Anthony Tucker, Jed Chang, Darren Young, Ryan Watkins, and Amigo Yang on the floor now for the home squad. Tucker trying to shake off Thompson. Watkins for 3, too strong. Young with another rebound, and he puts it back in.
Yeah, and it looked like Young had some words to say after that offensive rebound as well. And you know, those are the little plays that Young's able to do. But you know, the Dreamers are still looking for that spark. They just, you know, they've had spurts here and there, but you know, we've seen this team get on a rhythm and where they could just pour points in. And so far, you know, they haven't been able to pull a string of those sets together.
And they haven't been able to prevent the scoring of the Saigon Heat. That's Malcolm White scoring on that short jumper. Amigo Yang. Young on the drive. Young with back-to-back baskets for the Dreamers.
Yeah, just great ball movement by the Dreamers. Young found himself open, able to attack the closeout by Din, and elevate for the layup. Back-to-back baskets for him. We'll see if he can get going here.
Young has 5 points. Run in and out on the triple drive. And Darren Young dribbles it down the court. Tucker for 3.
There it is, just like that. They score 7 points in a matter of a minute. And when the Dreamers get clicking, you know, they have a lot of different weapons. When those weapons start firing together, that's when they really become dangerous.
I'd say you're right, 7-0 run courtesy of the Anthony Tucker and Darren Young duo. Thompson outside to Turker. Turker puts it on the floor. Turker gets it to White. Squeezed away by Amigo Yang. Anthony Tucker stopped by Tam Din. Chang driving baseline. Chang no good. Watkins snatching the rebound, but a personal is charged against Chris Durker. Ball stays with the Dreamers. Let's take a look at the three-pointer here. Anthony Tucker, just a slight opening to be able to knock down that three-pointer. So Tim Whale is in the game for Saigon alongside Tyshawn Taylor. He's having a fantastic game so far. Tyshawn has 8 points and 2 rebounds, 2 assists. All of that coming in the first quarter. Justin Young also in the ball game after leaving the first quarter early with the 2 personal fouls. Chang to Tucker. Tucker will drive, will spin, will get away. Anthony Tucker no good. He gets it back and he puts it in.
Tucker showing us he can do that dirty work too, just like Darren Young. You know, you miss one shot, stay in there under the basketball, pops back in his hand, and he gets it done.
This is, I believe, a 10-0 run, mounted by the Formosa Dreamers here in the second frame.
Tyshawn Taylor throws up an air ball, and you know, he's one that is super explosive to the basket. He can make those outside shots, but just didn't have any rhythm on that shot.
Correction, it's a 10-2 run because it was 23-18 earlier. Watkins powers his way in. That's going to count plus the foul for Ryan Watkins.
Yeah, and on the counter now, we have White, who's taking a break for the Heat, and Watkins recognizing he has the big mismatch, size advantage down low, you know, puts the ball on the hardwood, uses some of that muscle and height, and able to knock down the basket and go to the free throw line.
Just unable to complete it. Watkins so almost getting it back. Dive there by Tim Whale. And a jump ball situation here. Possession arrow points to the direction of the Saigon Heat, and Tim Whale credit him for getting them back the possession.
Yeah, I love seeing even the grown men dive on the court.
Yeah.
I see a lot of high school basketball where I work, and you know, the high school is always diving, hustling, and when you have you know, professionals out there doing the same thing, it's a lot of credit for what they do.
That's right. And Sam Thompson scoring on the runner. 27-29 now. Dreamers still on top. 5.5 remaining in our ball game here. Here's the lob inside. That breaks, by the way, the 9-0 run by Formosa. Thompson looking to add to that. And back-to-back hits coming from Sam Thompson, enabling the Saigon Heat to level with the Dreamers here in the second frame with 5 minutes and 11 seconds remaining.
Yeah, you got to love the aggressiveness that Thompson has had here today. Just uses that strength and has a lot more speed than you would realize. That he's able to break away on fast breaks and in the half-court set to get those buckets.
And his combination with Tyshawn Taylor at the backcourt, very deadly for the Heat. As Anthony Tucker rattles that one in, and a three-pointer counts for Tucker.
Yeah, speaking of deadly, when Tucker just sees an inch of space, that's all he needs with that quick release.
Tucker has 13. Tyshawn Taylor, no good. And ball goes the other way, to the dismay of the entire Heat team as we take a look at this long three-pointer by Anthony Tucker. 32-29 for the home team. Chang getting into Watkins. He's got Whale. This is a favorable matchup for Watkins. Amigo pulls the trigger. Couldn't find it. Young inside. Deep reverse for Darren Young, and that's going to be a foul against the Heat. It's going to be on Tyshawn Taylor. So Darren Young taking another trip to the free throw line. Taylor arguing that there was minimal contact in that sequence.
Yeah, his hands were off of him. You know, there was some contact with with the body down low. You know, a lot of times, you know, refs can let that physical contact go, especially down under the basket. That time, Darren Young being able to come away with the call.
And a lot of offensive rebounds already for Darren Young. He's got 6 points, 6 rebounds free off the offensive glass. Darren Young's numbers on your screens. Been on a tear in the last 3 games for the Dreamers. 25-12 a couple of games ago. 30-17, and then 20-16 yesterday against the Dragons. Or Patran, rather. Dropping that one in. What a counter for the Heat.
I liked as he put his finger over his mouth and gave the crowd a little shh sign afterward. A lot of confidence and swag.
Also, Patran with a crowd silencer. And this ball is taken away. Tyson Taylor! Wedgie!
And they actually called a foul on that one, so Tayshaun Taylor will get to go to the line. But again, wow, 2 athletic guys on the break, and
they've been going at it.
Given us a couple treats.
Well, let's take a look at the play here. Taylor rising, and then Young, as per usual, looking for the chase down. But
that's a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
It's a lot of basketball on that play.
That looked clean. They probably called the foul on the body.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so focused on watching them over the rim, I didn't see what happened below the rim. I mean, those guys are so impressive. They go up there and fly like they're a foot above the rim, and it's hard to see what happens underneath. But you know, the official's job a lot of times in a sequence like that, one official's job is to look up top with the hands, and the other one's job is to look at the body, because I mean, you can't see, you know, 6 feet, 6.5 feet of their whole body and where they're going to be hit. So hopefully there was some contact there, as that's the call they made. But from the replay and watching up top, there was no contact at all except with the basketball.
1 out of 2 made by Tayshaun Taylor on the trip right after. But on the other side here, Darren Young's turn to take yet another trip to the free throw line. He's been having, you know, a lot of trips to the free throw line today, getting rewarded because of his hustle here for the Formosa Dreamers, as Young drops in the free throw. 7 points, or make that 8 points now, with 6 rebounds for Darren Young, who is 4 out of 5 as well from the line. 2 for 2. So lead is back up to 3. Chris Durker replacing Tim Whale. And Tayshaun Taylor now will bring the ball down. Here's the crossover, the drive, and the basket for Tayshaun Taylor, plus the foul.
Wow, and going across his body, getting the contact. His body was twisted away from the basket, but great concentration and explosive move by Tayshaun Taylor, who showing us what he can do.
That's right, former Brooklyn Net, and a lot of people don't remember him, but he was the one who, I think you were telling me this story off air, Kurt. He was the one who got bumped by Jason Kidd when Kidd was still coaching with the Nets.
Yeah, and
a very popular video online.
Yeah, Jason Kidd told his rookie at the time, Tayshaun Taylor, to bump him, you know, so that Jason Kidd could have that extra time out. But, you know, Tayshaun Taylor also helped lead his university, Kansas University, to the national championship game in 2012 against Kentucky. And so he has a great basketball career. And it's fun to see players like him showing their talents here in the ABL.
And you know this because you are a big Kansas fan.
I am a Kansas fan. Rock Chalk, and lots of good NBA players being able to go through the Kansas University. But
that's right.
Yep.
And Tayshaun Taylor going to the NBA as well, as Anthony Tucker knocking down the free throw. The first one. Taylor here on your screens called for the foul. And Tayshaun played with Thomas Robinson, who also played briefly in the NBA as an undersized forward. So Taishan now has an opportunity here to tie the game for the Heat. Taylor to the corner, Young for three. That is too strong, rebound by Thompson. Thompson, and that bounces in for Sam.
Yeah, so Thompson and Taylor doing a lot of work, but you know, it's also the defensive side that has helped keep the Saigon Heat in this game, so you got to give credit to Durker and the other guys who are corralling rebounds, getting a lot of extra opportunities for their team.
Oh, Sam Thompson called for the foul here as he was trying to snatch the ball away from Ryan Watkins. Here's what happened. Woo Wei and then Thompson with a swipe.
Yeah, and that's what's hard. I mean, it might have been a lot of ball, but anytime the officials see you bring your hand up and then swipe it down, it just looks like a foul and oftentimes will be called one.
So that indeed was called against Sam Thompson. We are all tied up here, 38 apiece. A timeout called by Coach Kevin Ierkes, 2:16 remaining in first half. 38 all. And that's very interesting conversation between our official and Coach Kevin Ierkes. 38 all here in the second quarter. Both teams with one timeout remaining each. And now it's Ryan Watkins at the free throw line. Doing a great job in preserving himself here in this game. Remember, he exited early in the first quarter because of those two personal fouls, but here he hasn't committed one ever since returning on the court.
Yeah, and you got to give credit to him, especially offensively. He's taking advantage while White is out, you know, for the Saigon Heat with these extended minutes that White's on the bench. He's really become a focal part of the Dreamers' offense.
That's right, but Justin Young nailing the three-pointer. 41-39 now, under 2 minutes remaining in our first half. Anthony Tucker over to Young. They go to Jet Chang, bothered by Thompson. That ball sailing out, it goes to the Saigon Heat. 1 minute and 43 seconds remaining. Saigon Heat playing very well the first two quarters here.
Yeah, and a lot of it's the Saigon Heat have knockdown shots, and you have guys like Young and Durker. They're playing a lot bigger than what they are. You know, they're bodying up the big Dreamers when they're physical. They're closing out hard on shooters, doing a great job defensively, and that's just giving them the confidence on the other end of the court offensively.
And they're also knocking down their three-pointers. That is the fourth three-pointer for Saigon. They're 4 out of 9. Thompson with 15 points. Young couldn't answer. Durker getting the rebound, hustling for it. They're still going. Taylor gets it. And here comes Taishan. Thompson driving baseline. Sam Thompson short on the first run. One more opportunity here. And he gets it on the second serving.
Yeah, Saigon Heat, more energy, more heart right now. You know, Durker down here battling with Watkins, able to get that rebound, which leads to that Thompson layup. And Watkins still on this side of the court. Your best rebounder is not even going down to help anchor your defense. So, you know, the Dreamers are going to have a lot of things to talk about during halftime.
Taylor tried to back that one home, no good. And here comes Anthony Tucker, 46-39. What's away? No good.
Yeah, tough closeout by Durker, and you know, now the Saigon Heat will have a 7-point lead, and 10 seconds now they're trying to extend this lead before they go into halftime break. So it's been a great first half of basketball for the visiting squad.
Taylor, last shot time for the Redshirts. 1 second, Taylor puts it up to the side, and that's gonna end the first two quarters here inside Changhua County Stadium. You're inside Changhua County Stadium. This is the battle between the Formosa Dreamers and, of course, the visiting Saigon Heat. Dreamers right now at 7-6. Number 4 in the team standings. Saigon at 2-7. They are dead last at number 10. You guys are still joined by Martin Javier alongside Kirk Long, breaking this game down. And Kirk, 7-point lead for Saigon. This is the best first half they played in the last 3 games for them. What is working? What is not working for the Formosa Dreamers on the other side?
Well, I think you have to give credit to the Heat defensively. They've been active hands. They got a lot of athletes. You know, it doesn't matter who they switch onto. They're making the Dreamers work for every single basket they get, whether around the rim or closing out on the perimeter. So even right now, they're just being extra scrappy. That time Watkins gets the better of it, but the Saigon Heat have just been competing every single possession both ends of the court. You know, and on the other side, the Dreamers just got to slow down. They're getting some looks, but they just got to take care of the basketball and just knock down shots. So yesterday, Woo Sung Wei, Chin came in, knocked down some 3-pointers. So they need some of those role players, Jet Chang, to step up and make some shots for them. They'll take some pressure off of Tucker and Darren Young from having to carry the whole scoring load.
That's right. Dreamers only shot at 36.4% in the first half. Only 12 field goals made compared to Saigon Heat's 48.6%. That is good for 8 out of 37 from the field. But the Dreamers were able to make up for it at the free throw line. They were 10 out of 13. And Ryan Watkins, who scored the first points here in the second half, had another quiet first half. Kirk, only 3 points before the basket to open the third quarter earlier.
Yeah, and he was in foul trouble, you know, so he only played 12 minutes in that first half, but, you know, he's been given some opportunities down low, especially with some mismatches, smaller guys on him, so he really needs to take advantage of those for his team.
And the Saigon Heat, well, they have to be careful here. Turnover number 13 for them, and that leads to a 3-pointer by Anthony Tucker on the other end. A quick 5-0 swing for the Formosa Dreamers to begin the second half.
Yeah, and it's one thing, Darren Young gets that steal, but, you know, he also was the one who fired that pass down to Tucker, who just needs a bit of daylight to get that shot off. On the other end, though, it's White making his presence known and felt as he got some extra rest in the first half, too, picking up his second foul. And Watkins and White are going at it here.
Oh, they're battling now. And Ryan Watkins countering right back with a hook shot to trim the lead back down to 2 again. It's Tyshawn Taylor. 112 in the first half. Taylor. Flip pass here to White. White looking for a teammate. Back out to Tamdin. Tamdin to Thompson. Thompson pull-up jumper. Airmails the shot. So ball going back to the other side. And the Dreamers with an opportunity to tie or take the lead with a 3-pointer. And this is not a good shot. Oh, this was a shot earlier by Malcolm White. A strong move inside of the pass by Tyshawn Taylor. But here Ryan Watkins on the retaliation. Tucker for 3. Tucker knocks it down again.
And that's what his game is. I mean, you cannot rest one possession against Anthony Tucker.
Taylor couldn't finish with the left. And Anthony Tucker now has 21 big points. Thinking about it, Taylor is there. Tucker fires, fading away, no good. Watkins getting it back, getting it to Tucker, who had the open look. Still off. Young with the offensive board, finding Tucker underneath for the deuce.
And Tucker says, well, those threes didn't go in. I'm just going to step in a little closer. And a great pass from Young after the rebound. And great job by Watkins. Both those guys battling down there, giving themselves some extra second chance opportunities, which we didn't see that type of hustle or energy so much in the first half, Martin.
That's right. This is definitely better hustle coming from the Formosa Dreamers as we get the foul on the other side. This is going to be against Ryan Watkins. So that's going to be foul number 3 on Watkins. This was the sequence earlier. Watkins, couple of fakes, forcing that one up. And Tyshawn inbounding the ball. White taking it to Watkins. And Malcolm White scoring again. He's got 11. 51-50. Saigon Heat trailing by a point. It's been the Anthony Tucker show in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter rather. A steal by Justin Young. Dangerous pass picked off by Darren Young. Ooh, the pass hit the rim and retrieved by Darren Young, who scores off the glass.
I don't know if I've ever seen a scenario quite like that before. It's always fun. You go to a basketball game and you see things that you've never seen before. It looked like it was a pass, obviously, but hit the rim like a half-court shot. Darren Young scoops it in for the layup.
Tayshaun Taylor. A struggling start for Taylor to the second half. Amigo, cross court. Pull-up jumper, Jet Chang knocks it down.
So much confidence, Jet Chang, and you know, if you don't close out far enough, he can just rise and hit the three, but he's so quick off the dribble. He takes that one dribble, and it looks like he's driving hard to the basket, and then stops on a dime and knocks down the 18-footer. And all of a sudden, the Dreamers are up by 5 with a lot of momentum.
An onslaught here by the Formosa Dreamers. They are off to a 16-4 run to begin the third quarter. Because we started at 39-46. It was the Saigon Heat who had a 7-point lead to start the second half. Tayshaun Taylor quickly to White. His shot is deflected and rebound goes to Young. Amigo Yang now. Finding Young, who pulls the trigger. Short on the triple try. And Sam Thompson, couldn't secure it. It ends up with Jet Chang who flips it up and in.
And this is that stretch, you know, that Saigon Heat was able to avoid in the first half. But it has been all Dreamers, and they got to stop the bleeding right now and try to figure this thing out.
57-50. Now it is an 18-50. Davis basket. Jet Chang picking it up and then flipping it up over to Tayshaun Taylor for the news. We got a timeout on the floor. We'll be back after this. All right, we're back to the ball game as we resume the third quarter here. Saigon Heat trying to fend off this Dreamers attack to begin the third quarter. Taylor to White position. Tucked away by Watkins, picked up by Young. Young is on the move. Watkins getting the ball back, swatted away by White. Head to Tam Din. Tam Din with contact. Ooh! No foul whistled, and the play continues. Chang. Tucker set the table for the White Shirts. 4:23 left in the third. Oh! Watkins wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And Tucker went for the high and low.
He did. Tucker noticed the defense wasn't paying attention. White didn't have his eyes on the basketball. The problem was neither did Watkins, as we see the replay here of almost getting that shot blocker. It looked like he might have had it in the live action, but a few inches away.
So 57-50 still is the count. Taylor, who's been silent here in the third, goes to White. Makes his move against Watkins. White carving space. Foul on the help. It's if it's on the help, it's going to be on Jet Chang.
Yep, it was on Jet Chang. Just had his hands in there trying to claw it away right here. And when those arms aren't up in the air, that's an easy call for the officials to make, even if White was maybe going to lose control of it. So see if White can get the first one to go down. Big basket, and just to stop the clock and get some points on the board. The Saigon Heat team just needs to settle down and get back to working harder defensively and making it hard for the Dreamers, who offensively have had it going here in the third quarter.
That's right. All of the 6 points in the second half so far coming from Malcolm White for the Saigon Heat. Tucker, soft jumper. Thurker gets the rebound. Here comes Tayshaun Taylor. Taylor against Chang. White providing the screen. Taylor cross court. Thurker for three. That is short. Air ball fired up by Thurker. And here comes Jet Chang again. Chang fading away. Left it short. Tucker gets it back. Short stop is also off.
missed opportunities for the Dreamers to try to increase this lead.
Thompson couldn't handle the pass. Too deep, too crowded for Taylor and Thompson in that sequence.
Yeah, and you'd like to have those transition baskets, but great job by the Dreamers to hustle down and get hands in the passing lanes. And, the Saigon Heat miss another opportunity to get points on the board.
3 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Malcolm White called for the foul here as he was trying to battle for position against Ryan Watkins. Here's the whistle. Yeah, it was on the contact. Actually, it was on the second contact between those two players. It was
they were
not on the initial collision.
Yeah, they were jostling for position for a few seconds down there. And, you know, with this lineup, the Saigon Heat actually did okay in the first half with their big guy White on the bench. But we'll see if the Dreamers can take advantage now, not having the main rim protector in for the Saigon Heat.
Young, short, but ball retrieved by Woo Sung Wei. An offensive rebound by the Dreamers. They go to Watkins, Durker, and here's a strip. Thompson, watch out! He will score on the jam.
Yeah, and just the Dreamers got it to where you would think you want the ball. Watkins with the height advantage against Durker, but one-on-one in the post, unable to make it happen.
Chan deflected, and the Heat off and running again. Young taking it strong and scoring on the lay-in. So a quick spurt here by the Saigon Heat to trim the lead down to 1. It is 57-56, and again, as you mentioned earlier, Kurt, they are creating this run with a smaller lineup on the court with Malcolm White on the bench as well.
Small ball, small lineup, yet you get out, you move quicker on defense, and you get out and you run in transition, get those layups.
4 quick wins for the Saigon Heat. Let's go to this timeout.
As Watkins takes a break, and you know, Saigon able to try to put some full court pressure on and make the Dreamers work extra hard. We'll see what the Dreamers can come up with.
So Anthony Tucker, Dreamers trying to stop a 6-0 run by the Heat. Young on the reverse, no good. One more time for Darren Young. And he will be fouled again as he was able to snatch the rebound and then put up a shot.
Yeah, maybe Darren Young's the one that he can use his length and strength with that post-up game, as Watkins hasn't quite been able to make that quick explosive move around the basket.
And Darren Young, in a lot of occasions this year for the Dreamers, has been a pseudo big man.
Definitely.
For the Dreamers. That's why he's been getting a lot of rebounds. Again, in the season, he's averaging 13.5 rebounds per game. Look at those numbers coming from Young. 12, 10, and 5 already.
And the 5 blocks last game, I mean, that's what kind of, you know, normally that's 5 blocks, that means you're a center, maybe 7 foot, but, you know, he just does that with his athleticism and timing.
After every shot, I saw him releasing. Off to the right, Young corrals another rebound.
And you just see the fans here, they smile. They love watching him use that athleticism to go towards the basket.
And he floats it up on the other side. That's not going to work. Taylor, he's got Tucker in front of him. And Anthony Tucker forced to give up the foul. Dreamers not yet in the penalty. They have one more foul to give before going over the limit.
Yeah, smart foul. Tucker knowing that Tyshawn Taylor has some amazing speed and quickness in the open court. So said, you know what, I'm just going to make this easier for myself. And Tucker puts his body in front of him.
And that allows the Dreamers to set up on defense. Thompson! Oh, exploding at the rim.
And then he gave a nice little smile to Young, like, hey, you didn't get me that time, buddy, because Young was the closest one to him. But, you know, great find by Tyshawn Taylor to hit Thompson rolling to the basket.
You know what, Thompson also had a highlight against Darren Young in their previous matchup. Durker is on the move, getting it to Sam Thompson. Oh, he gets denied this time by Young.
Yeah, Young says, you might fool me once, but you're not going to fool me twice.
It has been a battle between those two, and Darren Young going coast to coast to get the finish and the foul.
Yeah, being the X factor, you know, even yesterday making big plays and doing it on both sides. He gets the block first here, puts his shoulder down, gets to the rim, and just showing us why he is a premier player in this league.
So one more free throw coming up for Darren Young, who is having, you know, his best year in the ABL. Last year spent time with the Singapore Slingers. Went all the way to the finals, lost in Game 5 against the CLS Knights. And now, this is a new season, a better one for Darren Young, as a foul was whistled here. So that's the final foul to give for the Formosa Dreamers, given up by Amigo Yang. 31.7 remaining here in our third quarter. 62-58, still a close contest. They need a quick shot if they want to go for a 2-for-1, but they're not going to go for that. So Tyson Taylor, step back jumper, short, and Young will wait this one out for the final shot. Young over to Anthony Tucker. He's got 10 seconds to operate. 5 seconds now. Tucker, long three-pointer. Tucker knocks it down! Anthony Tucker from way out to end the third quarter. Oh, we gotta see that again. In Changhua County Stadium for another offering here in our ASEAN Basketball League season number 10, Rise to Greatness. You guys have Martin Avera alongside Kirk Long, Anthony Tucker leading the attack for the Formosa Dreamers, especially in that big third quarter. 65-58, Anthony Tucker with 26 points, 11 in the third quarter alone. Tian Lei misfiring to begin the fourth quarter here. Now, for the Saigon Heat, we saw them climb back in the game earlier in the third quarter, Kurt, as we hear a lot of boos here, as a foul was whistled against the Dreamers. Let's take a look at this attack first by Tyson Taylor against Darren Young.
Yeah, definitely somebody there early on, you know, and some of that is Tyson Taylor initiating that contact. But, you know, it might have been a late whistle. Crowd didn't like it. You know, I wouldn't say that Darren Young was completely set in that position, or, you know, you didn't see him argue the call too much. So Tyson Taylor made an explosive move to the basket. I think deserves to be at the free throw line, but not an easy call.
Tyson Taylor did not score in the third quarter, but, you know, was responsible for a lot of assists.
Yeah, but the Heat gave up 26 points to the Dreamers in the third quarter. Just not a great defensive showing in that quarter, unlike the first half where they held them to 39 points. So they're going to have to get back to their defensive selves that they showed in the first half if they want to have a chance of climbing back, staying in this game.
And that intensity, the energy, you know, we only saw that again towards the end of the third quarter when they went to this small ball lineup, Kirk.
Yeah.
So So let's see if they can maintain it here. It was a 26-12 quarter, by the way, for the Formosa Dreamers. That's why they were able to come back and take the lead going into the final frame. Amigo off the glass.
Yeah, Darren Young looked like he took a tough fall, driving to the basket, but right into the hands of Miguel.
Tyson flip pass. Quatran, too strong, rebounded by Tianlei. And here comes Anthony Tucker. He's got 26. Yang at the post against Quatran. Amigo, foul on the floor. And that's gonna be on Quatran. It was local against local at the post. And Amigo Yang getting the better of this matchup.
Yeah, trying to use some of his strength there against Tron.
67-59. Ken Lane sending it out. Amigo too strong on the three-pointer. It is rebounded by Sam Thompson. Quickly to Quatran. Tran the floater off the glass, no go. Ken Lay grabbing it, and Amigo Yang will wait for friends. Getting it to Anthony Tucker. Tucker now. Over to Amigo Yang again. And like this matchup against Quatran, that is denied by Durger. Thompson on the move. Thompson, wanted to get it to Young, but instead it was deflected. Dreamers possession. And Tianlei on the receiving end of a broken play, Kirk.
Yeah, and great job again. Darren Young using that length that he has, those arms, gets in the passing lane, and Dreamers turning defense into offense on the other side.
And look at this. Chan, Tucker, quickly to Tianlei, and then easily scoring it on the touchdown. 69-59. A 10-point lead, biggest of the game, opened up by the Formosa Dreamers.
He looks good.
Fourth quarter here.
Yeah, and you know, Thompson and Tyshawn Taylor really getting to the basket a lot in the first half, and you know, you got to give credit to the Dreamers defense. Jet Chang out there, different guys working hard, shutting down that inside, not letting these guys drive in at will and get to the basket. And you know, the Saigon Heat have not showed the ability to knock down the outside shot consistently. So when you're not shooting from long distance and you're struggling to drive the ball to the hoop, then that's where their struggles have started.
And these turnovers committed off the passes. As we take a look at Anthony Tucker, miss from downtown. And this is because of the chemistry issues still being experienced by Taipei Fubon, or Camden rather, drops that one in from deep.
Yeah, it's a big basket. Keep it in single digits. You know, there's still plenty of time to get a little run going here, try to switch this momentum back to the Saigon Heat, and it's going to have to start with their defensive energy. You know, get some steals, force some bad shots, and turn that into offense on the other end.
Chan, too strong. Young with the board. Young fading away, short. And here comes Tyson Taylor. Taylor with the ball. Taylor getting into Durger. And Tyson sending it back.
Missed opportunity as Durger had a wide open layup under the basket, but didn't go up with it.
Taylor the pull-up. Taylor drops it in. So Tyson Taylor brings the Heat to within 5. Chang challenge. But put it in anyway.
You cannot fall asleep against this Dreamers team. They are too smart. Tucker, Young willing to throw that pass forward, and Jet Chang receiving that 2 points because of the unselfishness, and great job keeping his eyes up from Anthony Tucker.
White taking it to Tianlei, no good. Here comes Darren Young. 4 minutes down here in the fourth quarter. A 7-point lead maintained by the white shirts. Tucker driving baseline, sending it out. Tianlei, no.
And he's made a career out of making those shots. Tianlei, I know it's a little bit different now, his role coming off the bench, but still, those are shots that Coach Kyle Julius wants Tianlei to take. He's great at spreading out defenses and normally has a bigger guy on him, and can't quite keep up with him out there. But so far today, Tianlei only with that layup inside the paint, and as I believe 0 for 2 from three-point land.
And this was a foul called earlier against Darren Young. Tyshawn Taylor back at the free throw line. So 2 players in, 2 players out for the Formosa Dreamers. Amigo Yang and Ken Day going to the bench, replaced by Usung Wei and Ryan Watkins. Tyshawn Taylor at the free throw line, breaking his silence earlier. The basket he made.
Yeah, that might have been his first field goal outside the paint, if I'm not mistaken. And maybe that will give him some confidence as he knocks down 2 free throws again. And he's quick enough to create his own shot.
Yeah.
So if he gets going and gets hot from deep, or even mid-range, then he can create those shots anytime he wants for himself.
He's got 17 points now. Tucker scoops it up and in. Tucker now with 28 points.
Yeah, Tucker just been consistent all night. 3-point land, getting to the basket, creating for teammates. You know, that's what made him the MVP. He's not one-dimensional. He can do so many things out there on the court to help his team get wins.
And then Thompson. Jam for Sam Thompson. And 73-68. Saigon Heat, though, could not afford to exchange baskets with the Dreamers. But that has been the trend here in the 4th quarter. Chang.
They're making the Dreamers work hard for it, but still the Dreamers haven't showed signs of slowing down too much. So they get a miss here, and this is another chance for the Saigon Heat to just chip away at this lead, especially now. Thompson, both guys going to the basket that time, though. Tristan Thompson's pass unable to get to White.
With a one-hander. 75-68. Under 5 minutes remaining. This chance earlier for the Saigon Heat. And only the 2nd game for Tyshawn Taylor and Malcolm White. Young. Taylor gets it back off the glass, missing. But Malcolm White tips it back home, plus the foul.
Wow.
And Malcolm White has another one coming up.
Lots of replay here. White just got his fingertips on it, but I guess Watkins, you know, touched those fingers while right afterwards. So interesting call. Tough break for Watkins. I believe that's now 4 personal fouls on him. So he'll have to be careful here the last 4 minutes.
So Malcolm White, excellent job so far at the free throw line, completing the 3-point play there. White is 4 out of 4 from the line today. 71-75. Usung Wei releasing.
It's a quick shot, and Usung Wei, deadly shooter, but when you haven't gotten a rhythm with a catch and shoot wide open, it's hard to come off a handoff and expect that shot to go in.
So Tyshawn Taylor will look to set the table for the Heat. He is up against Jed Chang. 5 seconds to work with. Taylor driving. Taylor creating with the left hand. Too strong. Tucker quickly to Chang. Chang accelerates. Chased down by Thompson. And here come the Heat. Thompson down the middle. Puts it up and in. They got a 2-point game here with 3:08 remaining in the 4th.
And the Dreamers have been in a lot of tight games this year. They've lost some, they've won some, and it's going to have to come down to execution.
And the lineup on the court for the Dreamers, back to their starting unit here. And so is the Saigon Heat. Ball is kicked out. It remains with the Dreamers. They have 5.8 seconds to work with. On the fresh 14 rather here, because that one is off the kick.
Yep.
So Amigo Yang getting it once again to Jed Chang. Chang up against Young. Chang still has the rock. Getting it to Watkins. Watkins against White. Watkins the hook shot. Will not go. Darren Young.
Yeah, Darren Young draws the foul against Thompson. So Thompson was still boxing him out down low when Darren Young first got possession of that ball off the rebound. So Darren Young giving his team yet another chance to try to increase this 2-point lead that they're barely holding on to.
And again, he's gotten a lot of offensive rebounds on that quick jump over the players. And this is a basket for the Dreamers. 77-73 now. Miguel Yang scoring again. He's got 9 and 2.
Yeah, missed opportunity there for the Heat. Didn't get that rebound, and now they're down by 4 again.
Taylor comes up short. Approaching. 2 minutes remaining in the ball game. It is a 2-possession game. Dreamers on top. Young, Chang, attacking. Chang on the way to the cup. So the locals, Yang and Chang, getting the 2 baskets. Thompson missing the dunk. Taylor forcing one up. And we got a foul on Ryan Watkins.
And I believe that's his 5th, so great job by Tyshawn Taylor going up strong, knowing the big guy maybe didn't quite have his feet set after Thompson missed the dunk. And Tyshawn Taylor draws the 5th foul on Watkins, and that will be it. So see if they can hold on to this 6-point lead, and we'll see if White can take advantage without having Watkins in the game to guard him on the next trip down offensively.
Yeah, Saigon Heat ending up in a better position after that missed dunk by Sam Thompson, as Taylor knocks down the first. They have a 5-point game here. This is not yet over. So Tien Lei will have to guard Malcolm White as Watkins fouls out of this one. 2 for 2 for Tyshawn Taylor. Jet Chang bringing the ball down. Last 2 possessions, it's been Yang and Chang. Dealing damage for the Dreamers. Good tap by Tam Tin.
Yeah, great. I mean, he sacrificed his body on that one. Didn't want Anthony Tucker getting open on the wing, getting the side screen, and then really diving after that passing lane.
Watkins finishing the game, by the way, with 9 points and 10 rebounds. This is Darren Young. Kick out to Tien Lei. Chang attacking again. Chang! Same drive, same result.
And he's been big, he's been crucial. He's really had a great stretch of basketball here, and continues to just find ways to score the basketball. Last game, that mid-range was really successful against Kuala Lumpur, and today just putting that ball on the floor, getting all the way to the cup, laying it in, back-to-back layups for him, and secures a 6-point lead.
And Jet Chang, for the 2nd straight game, the unsung hero for the Formosa Dreamers in the 4th quarter, allowing them to maintain their lead. Chang, by the way, has 12 points in the ball game. 1 out of 2 there. So 81-76. Tucker looking on. He's got Tyshawn Taylor on him. Tucker going around. The kick out. Tien Lei pulling the trigger and knocking it down. That's a 3-pointer for Tien Lei.
Yeah, that's what the crowd was waiting for. He missed a couple opportunities earlier, but that time was the bottom of the net as Tien Lei, I think, just put this one away.
That jumper putting this game inside the refrigerator. Tamden whistled for the foul against Darren Young.
And I don't know how many assists. We'll have to check how many assists that is for Anthony Tucker now, who has had his fingerprints all over this game as he drove to the basket to create that space for Tien Lei to knock down the corner tray.
So Tien Lei, so that situation earlier when Watkins fouled out, that proved to be a blessing in disguise for the Formosa Dreamers. Oh, stealing one away from the Saigon Heat off the inbound, jamming it home plus the foul.
And that's what in America we just call a Hail Mary. You know, if you just throw the ball up there high enough, you know that Darren Young is going to come away with the catch, and he knows what to do when no one's in front of him in the basket, and draws the foul that time. Dekar just didn't have anything there to stop him. Just too athletic is Darren Young.
And Darren Young escaping for the hoop. He's got 18 points, make that 19. to go along with 19 rebounds.
Wow.
Monster numbers for Darren Young. Taylor, Thompson, couldn't do it. White recovering. And Dreamers leading comfortably here. Here is the steal. Young on the move, 2-on-1. Jam, no. Young no good as well. And 22 seconds remaining in the game. Taylor puts that one in, but obviously, you know, with all the efforts of Zach Thompson and Tyson Taylor for the Saigon Heat, not enough. And not enough also to fuel enough offense, especially in the second half. They've only scored 32 points in the second half compared to 46 that they had in the first 2 quarters.
Yeah, and a lot of that is, you know, it's not like the Dreamers changed too much defensively. It wasn't a scheme. You know, I think the Dreamers played with a little bit more intensity in the second half, woke up a little bit. But some of that's just, you know, the Saigon Heat, you know, offense just got a little bit too predictable. Yeah. Thompson and Tyson Taylor attacking the basket just slowed down. They closed those driving lanes. And, you know, the local players of the Heat knocked down some triples, try to help out their imports, but it was just not enough, not consistent enough. To get the job done today, but they did come out and play hard. You gotta leave if you're the Saigon Heat with your heads up. You came here, competed. You made the Dreamers work for it, but the Saigon Heat will continue to look at the drawing board. Coach Kevin Yerkers will try to figure some more things out for his team to get some wins.
So the Formosa Dreamers will secure their 3rd straight win here in the season. They will go up to 8-6. Here in the ASEAN Basketball League season number 10. On the other hand, Saigon Heat losing 3 straight games now, and they fall down to 2-8, still at number 10 here in season number 10 as well. So final score 89-80.
is back-to-back triples for Mono Vampire.
Only 7 remaining. He makes his move. Young forces it up and in!
CC hasn't made a shot before that.
Pretty good so far here in the first half.
Lai, oh everyone for the